Hello, this is not a review, it's just me looking at, in this case, a couple of things and talking about them. One of these was one of my earliest Gundam theme builds from Bandai, and the other one is one of my most recent, but they're both based on the exact same suit, and they have very similar designs and construction because they're both from the original no-grade 1/100th scale line from Iron-Blooded Orphans. Iron-Blooded Orphans, the TV show. These are both Grazes, Graze. This is the standard / Commander unit. Right now it's built as Commander, just has a slight difference between the standard and Commander for the little crest that you get on the top of the helmet there. And then this is the McGillis. It's a specific unit. It's the McGillis Schwalbe Schwalbe Graze version. And again, these are both from what's considered by most to be a not grade line, so it's not master grade, even though these are decent size 1/100 scales, and they were not calling them even full mechanics at the time of this. These are not sold together. They're just separate, and with each one you get to have a few little options for how you can build, just small details. So I'll start with this one because it was the first that I personally built, and this was just built to kit stock specs. A bunch of these use the exact same basic frame underneath, which also resulted in a bunch of the armor pieces being interchangeable between them. I forget if I took any of the armor pieces from one of the other kits to put onto this, because like for my Vidar, I took a couple extra armor pieces that were included in this kit here and added them to that blue full mechanics Vidar kit. But this one, if I recall correctly, this is completely stock built. So I didn't even put a top coat on this. I did not even do any panel lining to this whatsoever. And it shows. It's got that real plasticky look. You can see down in the frame all the large exposed areas. No additional detailing was done. So this is exactly how you'd be able to put it together. The intent here is for like younger Gundam fans to be able to get into a relatively large sized model relatively easily. You know, you can get success fairly quickly. It has a decent amount of posability to it with the joints, and that's just that. You can rotate these things around. Again, this is not a review. If you want to see a review, definitely go out and check out some of the master reviewers who are out there who spend the multiple days to create a single video for you. But I'm just showing, some of my own personal journey. I did a little bit of a different pose for this thing just because I didn't want everything to be in a full combat pose. This one's just kind of tired and looking out. Not that a mech would be tired, but just imagine that the pilot had decided to kind of have this kind of pose and was just shielding their vision a little bit from the sun, from a little bit of glare. And that piece right there can close up, but I'll show it to you on the other one. Let's go ahead and switch over. So this has almost the same head, but there's just a little bit more of a crest to it. It's a little bit longer compared to the Commander version. And then the standard version of the green one had none of that crest whatsoever, but you can see how the head here is able to close up as opposed to exposing the eye, the big eye inside, which is a camera sensor unit. This right here is a thing that's similar to the MG Blitz that I did. I showed that quite some time ago. It's a thing that can fire off. So this is a separate weapon unit. You can also use it with other mobile suits, but also included in this kit, or with this kit, is a long wire and a coated stiff wire that you can bend to make it look like this is traveling off, and then it's got a connection to it, so you can go out, hit something, grab it, and then pull it back in, or manipulate objects and other suits in hand-to-hand combat at a slight distance. Now this one I did add a little extra detail to because I've been doing this a little bit longer now. It's still nothing too fancy. It's still not painted, but at least you can see, like here, there's some color for the hydraulic ram inside of there. It's panel lines, so these lines here are more obvious. They've actually been inked in so that you can see exactly where they are. There's a top coat on here, a single coat of semi-gloss or satin so that it's not as plasticky, not as shiny. So a little bit of plasticky shine to it. Maybe another coat would do it even better. The little circle right there is also colored in to add just a little extra detail. The verniers or verniers are blacked in on the inside and put just a little bit of metallic marker detail on the inside. Again, just real quick, and I am still a Gundam amateur, but just trying to do a little something extra with this cheap and simple kit. Oh yeah, also with the axe here, I tried to make it look like it's got a Sanmai technique that was used for forging the blade. This side, I think the other side looks a little bit better. This one, right down there at the edge, wasn't able to get quite the consistency across there, but just using two different types of silver. Again, marker, really basic, simple stuff. That little thing in there was the smaller ring. I added in the blue so that stood out a little bit more. There were some spots in the frame where I darkened things down. I used some grays, I used some black, got a little bit more definition in the hip joints themselves, little tiny bits of silver in there. Can you see it better from around the back? A little bit. You can see just these little things kind of flash at you a little bit every once in a while. The little details add up. They matter. The little hoop back here is actually a slightly different color, although it is a little bit too shiny. That kind of stuff. But otherwise, you look at this thing, you see that it has the additional thrusters up here, the thrusters on the shoulders as well. Thrusters down here at the knees. So it's supposed to be a kind of like a high mobility variant of this. Has a butt thruster as well on it, because why not? Provide a little bit of thrust at the hip area. I also did a little bit of marker work. It's not good, but a little bit of marker work on the gun, which at least looks better than not doing anything. But of course, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. I'm just slowly trying to work my way up towards doing actual painting while I don't have my painting set up just yet. These are really inexpensive kits. I think in today's dollars, the original retail price is something like $35. If they reprint them, they should come out $35 to $40 US. I think I paid like between 50 and 55. I think it was closer to 50 for each on the aftermarket. For new old stock just sitting around. You often have to pay a little bit more. I felt like that was reasonable for the size of kit, and I also personally just really wanted them. But these are taller than many master grade kits, especially for just simple mechs, simple bipedal mechs that don't have a ton of things artificially adding to the height. Backpack stuff, thrusters and wings and all that. Just as a mech, head to toe, the height there is pretty significant, and I think adds some, gives you some good value there for your money, if you can find them not too overpriced on the aftermarket. Really simple though. These are like lower end, low to medium range, modern day high grade level of difficulty to assemble these. But they have a good amount of articulation. There are plenty of opportunities to make them look better by, even just using markers like I did. And of course, if you actually have a painting set up, then you can completely go to town and make them look really, really nice. At the very least, a little top coat action can really add to the presence, make it feel a little bit more like you're capturing something from a sci-fi universe, as opposed to looking at a plastic toy, which they're both. They're toys and they're collectibles. But yeah, I like these. Just wanted to share those with you. Many more to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.